Okay, it's December 31st, 2022, and I thought I'd do one of those end of the year recaps, just primarily so I have a chronicle of where I've been and where I'm at. Here's my chickens. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Looks like I have 14 in here, and then I have 2 additional ones in a small cage. And they're doing pretty good. Oh, yeah, I guess I needed to add that. I processed 4 older hens, culled them out, and then I've gained that rooster. Ava, no, go, 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 sorry. If I stop, she thinks she's got to be part of it. Anyway, added that rooster right there. Who else? That girl right there. That rooster over there. And that black one right there. And as you can tell, this black one right here, if you look at her comb, it looks like she frostbit the top of her comb. Anyway, but that's where we are with the chickens. Okay, processed 4 deer this year. Hang them right up there out of the tree because I have to hang them up high because she'll eat them if I don't. Anyway, and I just finished processing one just a few days ago. It's awesome. I got a big-o. I mean big-o. You have to look at the video a month or so ago, or a few weeks ago. Big-o 8-point buck. With some help from my daughter, I built this milking shed this year. It's been really handy. Come in handy this spring because I think all my goats are bred. And here's the goat patrol. This guy is Frank. He's the buck. This is Buttercup. This will be her first year. That's Mama. And that's Babe. And I think they're all bred. Hopefully. Mama's been laying around the mud, looks like. I'm going to have to bring them up here pretty soon and trim their hooves because they're out here and the ground's real mushy, and you know how goats are. Their feet are notorious for getting all gummy and overgrown, so we'll have to do that here real soon. Not to mention I need to move their pen. You can see they've pretty much ate all the bark off the trees, and they've got everything pretty much ate down, so I'll be moving their pen up here. This is what I do for the buck pen when they start having babies or I don't want to breed them yet. Frank gets to stay up here. I catch water. I had this one little bitty piece of gutter left, and I put it on the back of this milking shed, and it collects water for me for feeding, for watering the animals. And as you can see, the garden's pretty much asleep and a really big mess. I'll have to come in and clean it up, and I need to put some amendments and some mulch and stuff on it to get ready for this spring. But my grandson just went home last week. He's been here for about, pretty close to 3 months. He's kind of a little guy, so it makes it harder to do a lot of stuff outside. My greenhouse, I haven't done anything with this fall. I've just let it be, and I'll get in there and clean it up to be able to start some stuff this spring. Oh yeah, this greenhouse, I built it. It's I built a frame, put a foundation frame kind of thing. I buried some 4x4s and did like a frame, and then attached cattle panels to it, And then last year, I broke down and got some official greenhouse film, plastic, because I was putting new plastic on it every year and I was getting tired of doing that. So it looks like it's going to last this time for a while. Okay, and this year I had a really, really bad time with deer. I bought some stuff that everybody was swearing that was like the best thing since, peanut butter, and it didn't work. Not for me anyway. I'm not even going to talk about it much. But anyway, so I did finally end up hooking up, running some hot wire. And that worked. All that sauce, I tried mothballs, I tried every kind of thing. I put dog hair, I mean every kind of thing. Nothing worked. This worked. So, just saying. I got a broad fork this year. I've not used it a lot. I've used it some. And I can't wait. This spring, I'm going to be doing some broad forking. And then I also put down this big it's a sign tarp. You can get them. They've got their billboard tarps. They're great. A guy up in Indiana has them. I think they're currently like $35 a piece. They're huge. Anyway, I have my son, when he comes down from Indiana, I have him usually pick me up one or two. And I got this down to kill off a new patch. So I'm going to try and grow some grain in here, I think. Let's see, where am I at now? I'm afraid. We'll see if it comes out, but this is rosemary. And I think that -2 degrees we had might have done in my rosemary. Rosemary, I've got, these are blueberries, and I think they're going to make it. There's another rosemary, and I have a feeling that it's history. I'll have to start some more. I got thyme, that's mother thyme, and it looks like it did just fine. Then I have quite a few fruit trees. This is a pear. No. That's a peach. And then I've got an apple, a cherry, a crab apple, cherry, plum, hazelnut. I actually got like 5 hazelnuts off of this year, so I'm looking forward to that. There's hyssops. They got bit pretty bad too, but you can see they still got green down in there, so I think they're going to be okay. And I got another hazelnut up here. I planted some new hazelnuts. I'm not going to go over there, but I just planted some of them this spring. And then I've got these raspberries that I'm trying to domesticate. We'll see how that goes. I've got these little garden beds here. I got sage. It looks like it did alright. I put some leaves on everything to kind of try to keep it from, freezing too much. And this is thyme, and you can see it's still green, so I think it'll be alright. I've got a few walking onions in there. They're still kind of green down close to the ground, so they'll probably be alright. Planted my garlic in here, and looky here, at 2 degrees. This I didn't get underneath the grass, underneath the leaves rather, and it took the tops right off of it, but it'll come back up. It just won't get near as big. And then I put some potatoes in there to overwinter and see whether they'll come up early and I can get some potatoes. And I mulched over this. I have rhubarb in here, asparagus in the middle, and then rhubarb over there. And then this, I was pretty surprised. Looky here. See this? That's corn flour. Some people call them bachelor buttons. Ava, go! Anyway, they sprouted and came up. So I put leaves on them, and they may make it all winter. Another more recent thing, my daughter had these Muscovies, and a neighbor's dog came in and killed a couple of them for her, and she couldn't get the neighbors to keep the dogs from coming over and getting into her ducks, so she asked me if I'd keep them for her. She gave me two, a drake and a female. I don't know what you call females. Anyway, a duck and a drake. Anyway, and then she asked me if I'd take the rest of them. So we've been babysitting Muscovies, and they're doing pretty good. They don't really like to go in their house much, but I had to clip their wings because they wouldn't stay put. But I really, 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 really like Muscovies because they're so quiet. And they're interesting. They got little personalities. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I think maybe 4 females, but I can't figure out which is the other female. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it's all 10 of them. There's supposed to be 4 of them are supposed to be females, but I just see 3 right now. Oh, right there. I think that one might be a female right there too. Anyway, we're gonna go walk out through here, out through the woods. Ava, no. Yeah, you get on back there. Her collar beeps. She thinks she has to be up my butt everywhere I go, which is not a bad thing, but sometimes I like to go all by myself. Yeah, and last year we had, I had some neighbors move in, bought the property next door. One thing that's nice is they came way back here before they started building anything, so it's close to the property line. This is one edge of the property where the trail's at. But as you can see, my cabin's way up there, so it's not too close. It's okay for me. This is the woods. Probably a third of this 10 acres, maybe even half of this 10 acres is woods, which is wonderful because I love woods. I like to hunt for mushrooms. I'm learning more and more about edible and medicinal mushrooms all the time. Here's my little hodgepodge blind where I sit waiting on deer. Sit right in here, and they come right down through there. Probably gonna have to find a new spot here real soon because this tree is dead as a doornail. They call them widowmakers. So I've been kind of on borrowed time hunting underneath this bad boy. So I have to probably find a new place. Either that or cut it down. And it's an awful big tree for me to try and cut down. Right in there is where I got my deer this year, and boy was it a deer. Big 8-pointer. Probably the biggest rack, and probably close to the biggest deer I've ever gotten. I think I got one that was maybe a little bit heavier up in Indiana. Of course, up in Indiana they have a lot more fat than they do down here. Matter of fact, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see. Yeah. See that white on that stick? That's where the first mark was, where I hit the deer, and then I had to track it. Didn't go too far though. I collected a whole bunch of acorns around here. I repositioned them for the deer, and I took a bunch for my goats. But it's on the way down to the creek. Have a little bitty creek. Has water most of the time, except for if we go more than like 2 or 3 weeks without rain, it'll dry up. But when I first got here, I actually had to pump water out of here because we had a really dry spell, and I pumped water to where I had no more water in the creek either, and it finally rained. But I dug this down a little deeper so I could actually pump water out of it. But it's a pretty cute little creek. Meanders down through there. The property goes up there to the top of that ridge right there, and that's the back side of the property. So, and it goes through there a ways, and I do a lot of mushroom hunting too. I haven't seen any this time out, but anyway, I just thought I'd do a end of the year. This is kind of where we're at. I haven't done much more on my cabin. That's something I need to start doing a little bit more of. I need to start. I've got things pretty finished, but now I need to go back through and kind of reposition things or rebuild things, or I just love being in the woods. Like I said, the grandson just went home last week, and so now it's just me again. I see my marks, my little tags where I tagged my tracking the deer out through there. Yeah, I have processed 4 deer this year. Only one of them was a deer that I got myself, but people around here are pretty benevolent that way. I mean, if they get a deer and they don't want to fool with it, they know somebody that does. They don't have a problem just giving you a deer. I wonder if there's any usnea. Yes, there is. Right there. Usnea. I'm going to let it go for a little while because I've got plenty. And it grows so slow. Oh, there's a piece that's fallen off. I might as well take it. This is wonderful stuff. I did a video back early fall about it. It's really, really, really good stuff for antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, fungal, antiviral. It's good stuff. Well, I think that's the most notable things for this year. My garden did pretty well. I put up a bunch of tomatoes and a bunch of green beans and even canned some potatoes and froze some peppers and dehydrated some peppers. I gathered chanterelles and dehydrated a bunch of them. And it's been a pretty good year. Hopefully next year it's going to even be better. I need to put up more. I need to put up more of my produce. With the way things are, you just never know. My chickens have done pretty good too. I water glassed eggs first time this year. I did about 20 dozen, and thank God I did, because my chickens, I get maybe one egg every 2 or 3 days, so it's a good thing I've got some eggs put up, and it worked really well. They're a little runnier than fresh, but if you're just making scrambled eggs or using them in baking or whatever, they work just fine. And you don't have to refrigerate them. The freezer thing, I don't like freezing eggs because the yolk ends up getting solid. You know, I like the yolk to be liquid. I don't like it to be solid. Anyway, this is my new Tennessee home. I'm Jo, and this is December 31st. I don't know if I'll make it to midnight. Yeah, probably, even if I go to sleep, I'll be woke up, because in this neck of the woods, about close to midnight or right at midnight, ends up sounding pretty much like a war zone. Everybody and their brother gets their guns out and sees if they can shoot the moon, I guess. Anyway, I'm Jo. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.